Grand rising to all of my kings and queens doing tremendous things. I am Altitude, representing Building Never Minds, the hip hop workshop, and I'm renovating minds one rhyme at a time. And today, I got another special guest with me, the lovely, talented, beautiful Brittany Green, everybody. So, I'm excited to have you on because I've been trying, y'all don't know how hard I've been trying to get this woman on this camera to display her art and her talent. Before we start, give us a little background about yourself, where you're from. I'm gonna show y'all a little bit of her art that she's brought to display on camera for you guys, and we'll get into some of her info and stuff like that. But first, tell the people your name, who you are, where you came from, all that kind of jazz, and we'll get into it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, I'm Brittany Green. I am originally from Greenville, South Carolina, small little town called Piedmont. It's the country. I came to Texas about 4 years ago, and I've been painting for 5 years. So it's been a journey moving here, and I started painting when I had got sick. So I was in the hospital, but I was home and I was still on sick leave, medical leave from work, and I needed something to do to channel my energy. Like TV just got tiring.
Yeah. Redundant,
yes.
Yeah.
And I felt like my brain was turning into mush. And I've always loved art. I took a lot of art classes in high school. A lot of my art sold in what do they call them? Like charities. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course the money would be donated to the schools, but it was a good cause. And I've done all types of mediums. So I like oil paint, acrylic. I like to work with clay. I don't know if I told you that.
No, you didn't.
Pottery and stuff like that. But yes, so I'm excited to be here with Jeff. And like you said, it's been a long time coming, but I am here.
So you said you started painting 5 years ago. So that would be, if my math is correct, 2017?
Yes.
So what got you into painting? Because me here thinking, like, seeing your art and then the art that we'll display for y'all in a second, I thought you've been painting since birth. I'm thinking like, oh, she's a prodigy, it's a lifelong talent. But so since it was 5 years ago, and you said from a sickness you got bored and you got into it like that. So but what was like the spark? Like, I want to paint? Because it could have been anything. I want to draw, I want to do music, I want to, like, what? Why painting?
Well, I was laying down, I can remember, and I remember that feeling in high school, just creating art. And I wanted that again, just to create. And I can remember, I don't know, I just felt invincible. Like I was in my own little bubble, couldn't nobody mess with me, and it was my escape. So I said, let me do that right now. And so while I was recovering, I couldn't drive or anything, and I had asked my mom to take me to the art store, and I bought a couple canvases and some paint, and I just started doing it. But then people was like, you should start selling your stuff. I didn't think too much about it.
Right.
I said, oh.
This was more so my therapy.
Right, yeah. It was. It was. And it was crazy. I had just got out of a breakup, so it helped heal me. And just being a positive mindset. So yeah, and then the more people saw my artwork, they're like, you really need to sell it, And so I just been doing it ever since. Yeah.
She's looking over there because her art is over there. So we're gonna pan to that in a little bit and show y'all her art. The reason I have this picture up here is because this is the lovely and beautiful picture that Brittany Green here painted for me, and I bought this painting from her. So matter of fact, before the money, go into this painting and talk about like what was the inspiration for this, because I gave you a photo of like kind of like what I wanted. So and it's pretty similar to that photo, but it's like you can tell it's your own style. So tell me how this was painting this canvas. Like, what was the experience?
This was a fun piece for me because Jeff gave me just room to do it in my style, because people have come to me and be like, I want this, like this. But he gave me a picture, but he wanted me to do it in my style. And he said, I want color. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody see my paintings, it's bold, bright colors. So this was a lot of fun for me, and he don't know this, but I didn't want to give it to him because after I was
She wanted to hold my.
I did. I was like, that look good on my wall too,
Right,
you know.
right.
And once you know get done with your art, it's just a satisfying feeling as an artist. It's like, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
And you liked it, and that like his reaction to it was everything. That to me as an artist, even though he paid me for it, that right there was more than the money. And I said I'm able to share a piece of who I am, and he's an artist as well, so I don't know, it's special to me, you know, and he wants to show it off.
Yeah.
So
I may, like, to be honest, I may use this for a cover of some kind, like for a single or something like that I put out. So just a little FYI, just letting you know.
Yeah.
So that's another like plug that artists helping each other, you know, from artist to artist. So yeah, that's awesome, and I'm very happy for that painting. Didn't know you wanted to confiscate my painting, but
if we're being honest,
yeah, I can understand. It's really beautiful. So you know, and I gave you like room to grow out where I was just like, it doesn't have to be exactly this, because if I wanted exactly what I'm giving you, then just go buy that painting, you know. But not only did I want to support black owned and, you know, independent creator, local, all of that jazz, but it was like, you know, I wanted you to do your thing too, you know. And so like my whole thing was, I know I'm not getting crap. Like, I know what kind of artist you are from what you show me, you know, the pictures you show me and stuff like that. So I'm like, I know I'm gonna get good quality, so just here's a reference point and then just do your thing.
Yes.
You know, so I'm very happy with the way it turned out. And so with that being said, we are going to transition into these paintings. Like, we're going to show y'all some of Brittany's work that she has been doing. And I want to, like, I guess we're going to like discuss each and every one of these paintings, and I'll give you my opinion on what I see. But yeah, like let's do that now. Okay, y'all, we had to get on the floor for this full shot, so hope y'all appreciate this, because my 30-year-old needs, like...
Right.
Right. So let's go through each of these paintings, but first off, I'll tell you what I see in a sec, but give me like the inspiration of each of these, and then I'll tell you what I see on first glance.
Okay.
So why did you paint these, and what was the inspiration behind them?
So, as you can see, it has a lot of colors, patterns, and it was just another fun piece for me. I didn't have it was more so freestyle. Okay. I didn't even have
this was freestyle.
Yeah.
What?
This was freestyle.
Wow.
I drew the shapes and I sat there and I was like, well, let me make them into masks. Then I just started freehanding the background. It wasn't like premeditated. If that makes sense. Yeah. And that's what makes this.
You didn't intend to paint and draw this.
Yes.
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it's just my imagination. So.
Okay. Awesome. And so let's get into this middle one here. So the elephants. Yes. What's going on with this here?
Elephants, very majestic animals, and there are two of them. And one of the things I've realized in my life is I don't want to be alone. Even though I am right now, but it is a desire of mine that I have painted. And this is actually a piece from a collection. It's 3 other pieces. I have one of giraffes, one of a lion, what's the other animal? Zebra. And they're all 2s. And also I'm a twin. So yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And people who know me, like, it was a friend of mine looking at this. He was like, when I see this, he said, I just think of you being a twin. And yeah, so.
Wow.
Yeah. During a time where you was hearing about a lot of killings, shootings, in my city and just in the world, and just, you know, people losing their lives, and I don't know if y'all could tell, on top of their heads is like city buildings. And the name of this piece is called The City's Cry. And so the reason why I use these bullet holes is because, you know, most of the killings were due to gunshots. So, and this, you know, the heartbreak, just conveying the hurt, you know, that people feel. For example, that situation with George Floyd, that affected the whole world.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was kind of the thought process behind here. So this one is just a woman in her essence. I use the ankh because it's a representation of life, and I surrounded her with roses because, you know, we women were known to nurture, help with growth. A woman being beautiful, I didn't want to give her a certain skin color. That's why I chose blue. And the blue also represents water. So it was another reason why I surrounded her with flowers, because it's just life. It just continues. And I feel like women, we play a essential role in that. So that, yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces.
So what I see here on the mask is like unity, basically. And it's kind of like community, it's tribal. The cool thing that you pointed out is that you drew the shapes first. So I'm guessing like the triangles, the ovals, the circles, stuff like that. And then you kind of, since it was freestyle, you kind of let the expression go around that, which is kind of cool. But that's the first thing I see is like community. Tribal, a culture, a vibe, like a oneness, a togetherness, that this is a bond that can't be broken. Like there's no separation or division, divisiveness here. Like everything is together, and even though this was painted as a freestyle, it's like everything has purpose now that it's all together and complete. So that's what I get from that one. And from this one, the elephants, it's so dope. I didn't even think of because I know you're a twin. I didn't think of the twin aspect. But this is just an illustration and a depiction of love. Like, I just get so much love from this that it kind of looks like the artwork in the back and the pattern, it kind of looks almost 3D-ish, because this doesn't even look like an all-in-one painting. It kind of looks like they're standing in front of a mural. Like, I don't know, like, because the way my eyes are, like, it literally looks like they're in front of a wall.
Yes.
Instead of it being, like, how did you paint this? Like, can you describe the paint, like, that you use?
Okay, so this medium is acrylic paint. And so, like, with the orange and the yellow, it was just those colors. But then I had to add some shadowing, some depth. So, when I did put them on top of this background, it stood out.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, cause that's what it definitely is. It's like the tribal, or not the tribal, but the pattern in the background. It's literally the background, and this is like the elephants are the focal point. Not because they're these huge, majestic animals, but because they're literally popping off the canvas.
And one thing I appreciate about myself is this was all freestyle. This was not premeditated. So
This one too.
Yes.
Wow.
So I know a lot of artists that draw before they paint. Me, I just go with it.
So you don't draw.
I knew I want to do 2 elephants.
Okay.
But this was just happened. And then when it all came together, I was like,
wow, I did that. Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Now this one, you said these were bullet holes, and I was trying to figure out when you first brought them over and I seen these, I was trying to figure out exactly what they were, because I thought they were. Okay, so since you described that there being bullet holes, I thought they were voids in the heart, like something that's missing. That's another thing I thought about. And then I didn't know how to feel about the city interpretations on top. So that's interesting. I guess after I'm done, you can break that down and tell me why that's there. But with the teardrops and stuff like that, so there's a lot of trauma and heartache and, you know, a lot of damage that's been done to these souls. But even if I wanted to break it down to, let's go with a part of us that's missing, kind of like this is breaking off, and then this is it kind of looks like a soul tie that's being divided, being broken. Now here we have this first heart. It's like a bond with someone, but it's kind of like it's mendable, it's salvageable, basically. So you can still salvage this with therapy, counseling, whatever like that. Or this is probably just like, because these aren't two people, this is just like one person, and it's just like they're losing pieces of themselves. You know, so it's kind of like are these arms trying to hold this part of their face together, because that's what it looks like.
Well, it's actually part of their neck.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
so
wild.
when
because I see this
the
in
split,
that.
Yeah. So his head, that's why it's the angle it is.
Wow.
So yeah, just breakage, like
Nice.
shatter,
And this looks like I said, divisiveness, kind of like you see how there's only 2 bullet holes here, and let's say if you wanted to interpret it as like a couples kind of thing, these 2 holes, they can be mended with time, but you got 3 holes here, which could also illustrate that something has entered into a relationship that shouldn't be there, whether it's infidelity, whether it's a vice like gambling, drinking, whatever, that anything that can separate a relationship, and it's split all the way down the middle, unlike this one where there's no coming back from this, like it's over. And so that's what I see. And then you got like these array of lights, like is that what this is? It's like an aura. So yeah, like
wow, yeah, that's deep.
Yeah. So it's kind of, but there's also this darkness. You know? Like, so it's kind of like there is light at the end of the tunnel. But the other way is darkness, so it's like, which way do you choose too? Because most people say run towards the light at the end of the tunnel, but you don't know what's out there. It could be something new, but going into the new and the unknown is scary, but so is staying in the dark. So that's what I see from that one. So yeah, like I don't know, like, did I do a good job illustrating that?
Yes,
Like,
you did. Well, to piggyback off what he said, this heart is completely just broken. I never even thought, probably subconsciously, I was painting a situation that broke me, and it couldn't be mended. And then you also have situations in your life, they hurt you, you get voids from them, but it can be fixed. I never even, wow, that's, I love it. I love it.
Art. Like,
I love it.
You know,
wow.
Yeah, it's the same thing with music. Like, sometimes we write things and we compose these songs, and we meant to say something else, but then someone would be like, oh, that one line you said, like, about therapy. I'm like, that wasn't about therapy, but dang, it could be. Like, oh, I didn't even intend to write that. So it's the same thing with art, because all art, whether it's music, paintings, like dance, it's all subjective. It's what it means to us, how it speaks to us at the time. You can read a book and get one thing, and then meet the author and they'll be like, that's not what it was, that's not what I wrote. But now that you say that, I can see where you would get that from, but I wrote it for this. So that could be the same thing. Like, you didn't see that, and now you're just like, wow, I did that. So that's awesome.
That's deep, Jeff. That's deep.
Appreciate it. And then I love this last one. So describe this one to us with like what went into this one. Like, so you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what was the, like, if you could give me one word to describe this, what went behind this painting?
The word I think about is just life. And me being a woman, I haven't had children yet, but I don't feel like, yes, bringing children into the world is very important thing that women do, but I don't think it makes us who we are.
Right.
And I don't think I should be judged on it. And there are other ways I can bring life to a situation. And women, I think women are just amazing. Our beauty, our essence, what we can give, how we just enhance things.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to capture with this painting. And like I said, I use blue to represent water flowing, just continuous. Yeah.
I think that's one of the most unique things that you said about this painting is that I didn't even think of the skin color.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even see that because obviously I saw, like she's blue, but I wasn't thinking like, this is just the essence of women, period. Like, yeah. That's all that needs to be said. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't have to go into a deep dive. And this one is amazing just because it speaks for itself. Like, instantly I look at this and I'm just like, oh, power, fierce, you know, strong, life, like you said. Like, there's so many one-liners, one-word, you know, phrases you can use to describe this. But, yeah. The best thing I can think of is like God's gift. Like,
there you go.
That's it.
That's simple.
Alright everybody, so that was Brittany's collection that she brought to share with us and show. Beautiful stuff. I'm glad we got to like break it down and, you know, I got to give my opinions on it and know that I was kind of on the money with most of them. But I really love, you know, the painting with the hearts. Like, that's probably my, I can't even say it's my favorite because they're all amazing.
You could buy it.
Okay, all right. Going into that, nice. Would you sell any of these?
Yes.
Okay. Which ones would you say, like, none of these are off limits? Like, anyone watching this could DM you and be like, I want to buy that.
They could.
Okay, so can you talk to them about your selling process? What makes something sellable? What do you hold near and dear? Do you have paintings that you just paint and you love them so much that you're just like, I would never sell this? Or, just talk to me a little bit about how somebody watching could get their hands on one of these paintings. Like, kind of go into all of that.
Well, it's very simple. You could DM me. My IG is Hues of Brit. It's Hues of _Brit. And you could just DM me and I'll tell you the price, of course. I could deliver, you know, have it sent. You could come pick it up, whichever way works best for you. But the one with the 2 elephants, it does come with 3 other pieces. I would like to sell it as a collection, but if you just have to have it, yeah, we'll talk about it. But yes, none of these are off limits. But sometimes I just like the beauty I've created, but I have to realize I could share it with others and I could create more. So yeah, I have been selfish with some paintings, and I do have paintings at the very beginning that I did that I won't sell. Because I like people to see my progress. Yeah. And I like to see it too, and I'm like, this is where I started, and it's just gonna get better. So,
Awesome. So I'll have her info and everything down at the bottom, and you know, her description, her emails, all of that, her handles on social media, so y'all can get in contact with her on that. But other than that, a little segue that I wanted to talk about before we wrap the video up is our talent and dating. First off, are you single?
Yes.
Fellas, calm down. Like, chill. I know, chill. So now, does your talent kind of, how do you balance, like, are you dating right now?
No.
Okay.
No.
Are you open right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, just with that information, how do you balance, like, a work-life balance, working on your talent and your craft, and being open to dating? Like, because you don't want to just settle for anything or fall for anything, but at the same time it's like you don't want to be so close-hearted and close-minded.
Right.
So just before we get out of here, how do you feel about dating and when it comes to work and doing your craft?
Well, I do know one thing when it comes to dating. People get really eager and they want to rush. But one thing about me, I'm a slow painter.
Okay.
So, with that being said, I'm not into rushing, and there's no reason to. There has been times like I have started a painting, and I've took my hands off of it. Just sat back and admired what I've done already, and what can I add to it. And sometimes, I guess that's a metaphor. Like speaking in metaphor.
Definitely a metaphor.
Yeah, that's how I see it, and so I don't see the rush. And that's what scares me a lot with dating. Because that's the beauty of dating, getting to know somebody.
Everyone wants it right now, right?
Yeah. Discovering their colors. And I'm speaking in artistry terms.
She's such an artist. Such an artist. Like their colors.
Their colors,
Right.
I like vibrant people. I like people who are true to themselves. And I feel like everybody should have their escape. Like you do music and stuff like that.
Definitely an escape.
And if you dated somebody, I'm sure you want them to have a way they escape too. It's healthy.
Right.
To me, it's healthy. But the issue I've come across is like, a guy may want to see me or let me take you out. And I'm like, well, I'm working on a painting. And they like, it's just a painting. Well, it's not just a painting to me. It's who I am. And I'm taking this time to paint. So it do become an issue because, some people are needy. And you need, we all need that attention in relationships. But I also want to stay true to who I am. I want my partner to be able to stay true to who they are. Right. That's why you like them in the first place. I
think a lot of times too, when it comes to our talent, people will know you as the painter. And if your boyfriend, fiance, husband, whatever, does not have a talent, let's say they just go to work, which is fine. But let's say they know you for your craft, but not him for anything. So it's like, this is Brittany's husband. Instead of, this is like they don't acknowledge. I've been in relationships where since I do music and I walk in and everyone's like, oh, altitude. And I'm just like, but they're not acknowledging my partner either. So that becomes an issue because it's like we're a package deal. We can't not be acknowledged singly, like we're together. So like how would you go about handling that when you blow up and become this world famous painter and you're in museums and coffee shops across the world? Like how would you go about handling that, or assuring your partner that it's not about me, it's us, but this is who I am? Because I feel like a lot of people lose their identity in somebody. Like, I want to cater to you, but when relationships break up or a void happens, when things happen, they lose their identity because they were so wrapped up in them. Some people are wrapped up in work, they're wrapped up in their vices, they're wrapped up in an identity of someone else, but they don't know who they are. So you're true to your paintings. This is who you are. So how would you reassure somebody, whoever your significant other will be in the future, that I'm here for you, but you have to accept this because this is part of me?
Well, first of all, even like when we get to that point, he will understand that he inspires me. Because one thing that I do try to find when I'm dating, I need inspiration. Life is hard. And I have a lot of painter's block sometimes. And I, like, when I do find that special someone, it's because they inspire me. Whether it's by a thought, a conversation, or even he may see me start a painting and then he see me getting frustrated. and may see it from a different perspective, and then like a fire happened. You know what I mean? So he'll know how important he is to me.
Right.
You know, everybody else don't have to understand that.
Right.
But he will, and I will. So even if like I have an art exhibit, and you know, the attention may be on me for the night.
Right.
He'll still know he holds an important place in my life. That will be understood.
Right.
So he wouldn't feel small. If that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah, he wouldn't. I wouldn't want him to. And I guess if he did, I hope we would be in a place where he could communicate that.
The biggest thing is communication.
Yes.
I feel like if you have communication, everything will work itself out.
Yeah, but also with communication, you gotta be willing to listen.
Don't drop too much heat on them now.
We can talk all day.
Right.
But
That's a whole. That's a whole other TED talk. Yeah. I'll be here for another hour.
Right. Well, you know, we gonna keep on down the road, but so that's
Guys, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for indulging my guests. If y'all want to buy any of her paintings or DM her and hit her up about custom paintings or anything like that, I'll have her links and her bio and her email and everything like that down in the description. So thank y'all for watching. I am Altitude, representing Building Narrow Minds, the hip hop workshop, renovating minds one rhyme at a time. This has been another episode of Soundcheck, and until the next time, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace and one love.